I wanted to talk to you about what is a social entrepreneur. A lot of people are interested in that phrase, and it took me a long time to call myself a social entrepreneur. I'll explain why, and I'll explain what I think a social entrepreneur means. In essence, I think being a social entrepreneur is simply being someone who wants to make a positive social change in the world and is prepared to innovate in order to get there. So I'll say that again. It's a person who wants to make a positive social change in the world and is prepared to innovate in order to get there. For me, that fulfills the two parts of it, the social and the entrepreneur. So why did it take me a long time to call myself a social entrepreneur? The main reason is just that I thought it sounded a bit pretentious. I thought it sounded like a label that you shouldn't really give yourself. But over time, I realised that it was a good description of at least some of the work that I do. I set up an organisation called Young Charity Trustees to encourage board diversity on charities. And before that, there was no other organisation, at least not one that I found, doing that type of work. I've set up an interview series called Social Good 6, which helps bring people who are positive social influencers, bringing more social good into the world to wider public attention. I've worked for a number of charities, social enterprise type organisations, and private businesses which support charitable aims. And so I think that accurately sums up at least some of the things that I do. The reason why I think social entrepreneur is an attractive phrase is that I think there are a lot of people who want to do good in the world, and also a lot of people who want to be seen as entrepreneurial, or who are the type of people who want to really change things. And the reason why I think social entrepreneur works so well as a sort of catch-all phrase is because I think that these days the world isn't so much divided into charities, businesses, and social enterprise, and those organizations have completely different aims. In fact, the world is becoming a lot more homogenous, I'd argue, in that sense, in that charities are starting to behave more like businesses and have been for a long time, and businesses are starting to realize that the only way that they can attract more customers and retain the loyalty of customers is to act in more socially responsible ways. So I think of a lot of the lines are becoming blurred. And therefore, to me, the phrase social entrepreneur is a really good way to understand what it is that people do who sort of work at the intersection of these worlds, who might be in any sort of career but want to make a positive social contribution to the world. So, would you consider yourself a social entrepreneur? Do you recognize other people as social entrepreneurs? And do you even like the phrase social entrepreneur, or do you think that there's something better? I'd love to hear your thoughts below the video, or if you want to respond in your own video. But I just wanted to discuss the phrase social entrepreneur with you because it's one that a lot of people are interested in, and it's an issue I thought about quite a lot. Thank you for listening.